Ah yes, SWAT. Short for Super Wicked Awesome. Brother of Commando and the Psych Ward's most recent escapee, for being a man with gun class, it has a deceptive amount of diversity, with tactics ranging from being the tankiest merc in the game to having both the most and least amount of bullet control, along with multiple forms of CC, bottomless magazines, and the ability to perform your best derailed train impression. Battering Ram. Dying is a coward strategy, so you've strapped on your Kevlar and are charging in to see what will break first, your armor or the enemy's viability as a living being. Starting off your quest to invincibility, you begin every game with 50 armor. In addition to that, you can't be grabbed by clots, and any damage you take is absorbed by the armor so long as it isn't sonic. Yeah, you brought riot gear, extended mags, an extra pistol, enough ammo to break your spine, and didn't skip leg day, yet you neglected to bring earmuffs. Anyway, like I just said, your next skill gives you an extra 9mm at game start, with a 100% damage boost to those itty-bitty pistols. On top of that, your knife-to-face combat efficiency and ability to remove teeth with a gun stock is increased as well. And I promised you some crowd control, didn't I? Well, don't you worry your indestructible little head, because the wall of bullets you'll be putting out has double the chance of stumbling enemies. And to add insult to the many injuries your foes will be facing, your armor cap is upped by 50% and you start the game with an extra 50 armor on top of the 50 from heavy armor training. Lastly, we have my favorite ability in the game, as of 5 minutes ago. During Z time, you run around at full speed and body slam people into necrosis using a tactic I lovingly call car accidenting. There is something just so satisfying about chokeslamming people past their expiration date. And don't be afraid to test your face's durability against Scrakes and Fleshbounds either. Crashing into foes with more HP than your average convertible will momentarily liquefy their bones, knocking them down for the perfect opportunity to use your guns like a normal person. Just be careful if you opt to give your lethal hugs to explosively infused enemies. Maybe I shouldn't have body slammed a stick of dynamite. Your weapons are either from the past or the future, packing a wallop behind every round, CCing Zeds into oblivion. First off is the Tommy Gun, a prime firearm for all you novice mobsters. This beautiful baby fires faster than the Kentucky Derby and ices people better than a refrigerator. And if the full might of the Chicago typewriter is too powerful for you, you can set it to semi-auto for extra precision. Who the heck was that? Anyway, next is the HRG Nail Gun. Instead of doing the whole bullet thing, you use a semi-truck's worth of compressed air to spray a laser of 3.5-inch framing nails through your enemies. And if that isn't to your liking, you can use middle mouse to activate a fully automatic 3-round burst to Swiss cheese anything too big for you to miss. These nails are the most entertaining thing you can throw at your enemies, with piercing, ricochet, and the most obnoxiously fantastic sound in the game. After that is the HRG Stunner, a rapid-fire shotgun that launches 12-gauge slugs. But that isn't where it gets its name. Using middle mouse will consume 5 ammo and fire a flashbang. This grenade substitute travels quite far and can stun enemies, though just because it consumes 5 times the ammo doesn't mean it does 5 times the damage. And finally we have the HRG Bastion, a fancy LMG with a defensive surprise. When you hit middle mouse you activate a shield in front of you. While this barrier is up, it can absorb 70% of any damage heading straight for your face. The shield depletes power over time, and every blow you take reduces it further. But don't worry too much if your shield is running out of AAs. It slowly recharges whenever it's inactive, and no matter how low your energy is, the blocking power will remain the same. Use these mechanics to your advantage and feather your shield when dealing with telegraphed attacks. And be mindful of the 3-second cooldown if your shield breaks. Rapid Assault. Instead of using the combined efforts of science and your face to slay your foes, you choose to go with the normal strategy of replacing each cubic inch of your enemies with lead. To do this efficiently, you need maximum control over your recoil. For basically every weapon in the game, this is achieved by crouching and using the iron sights. The problem is, this severely hinders your movement. Unless you're SWAT! With your first ability, you ignore the movement penalties from spider walking around with your gun glued to your eyes. And this exercise of your calves, thighs, and glutes gives you increased movement and sprinting speed. But your hands and backpack need to keep up with the amount of bullets you're spraying out as well. So your next ability gives you increased reload speed, and the one after that increases your ammo capacity. And we want your bombardment of bullets to do a little more than merely kill enemies. So successive shots with your weapons will slow down Zeds, and hitting them in weak points will slow them down twice as fast. But that still isn't enough. We need more CC. We need more bullets! During Z time, you hose out bullets almost as fast as you normally would. tripping anything unfortunate enough to feel your brief double stumble rate. And the restrictions of the material world mean nothing to you, for you have infinite ammo in your time of awesomeness. For your weapons, you have any submachine guns that have actually seen use within the last couple of decades. And just because your weapons have comparatively less stumble power than their weird counterparts, doesn't mean you can't reconfigure the bone structure of Krampus before he ruins Christmas. What just happened? Starting off is the MP5 RAS SMG. A variation of the trusty classic, this MP5 is perfectly honed for slaughtering Zeds. Utilizing fully automatic and 3-round burst, nothing is going to get past your suppressive fire. Next is the P90 SMG. This abomination of gunsmithing may look like it was robbed from the nearest Toys R Us knockoff, but I assure you that its full auto with a sight of semi is enough to slay Zeds like any other. Also, if you want to feel better, you can always make laser sounds. But maybe you want to slow things down a little bit. With the Heckler & Koch UMP, you sacrifice your ludicrous amount of fire rate for a lowly ridiculous amount of fire rate. Though that isn't a bad thing. Your damage per shot is second only to the HRG stunner, and you can switch your fire mode between full auto or burst with middle mouse. And lastly, we have the Eruptor of Ammo, the Chris SMG. Having the highest fire rate in the game and being tied for the highest with DLC weapons, the Chris will kill Zeds almost as fast as it will exhaust the Horzine ammunition reserves. Haha, Crisco burr. Though if you want to be a stingy mongoloid, you can always switch to semi-auto. Wait! I need your attention just a little longer. On the community tab, there should be a survey. I need your help to decide what game to cover next. Stuff like Risk of Rain 2, Borderlands 2, Overwatch 2. A lot of 2s. Anyway, go there and voice your choice. And while you're at it, subscribe! Not only does it keep you from missing out, but it also gets me one step closer to calling this a job, and not a crippling addiction. Anyway, bye!